Good morning and welcome to our YouTube viewing, the Mandurah Bowling Club Everest of Bowls singles tournament. I'll say good morning because that's what it is in the beautiful Mandurah at the moment, but from wherever you're watching in the world, good day to you. We're kicking off our stream today with Barrie from Burleigh, playing in his Dandenong shirt, and Corey Wedlock from Warilla. Should be a cracking game. Today's method of play is 8 sections of 3. So in this particular section, we've got Steve Novak sitting off, waiting to see the result before his game. We have 4 sections on the outdoor green, which are viewing now, and you can catch one of the other 4 sectional games on the indoor green. Of course, winners of each section go through to tomorrow's quarterfinal. So it should be a great day of bowls. My name's Kyle McElroy. I'm sitting off waiting for my first game while I sit next to my buddy Tommy Mitchell, who'll be assisting with commentary.
Morning, Kyle. How are you?
Very well, thanks. As I said, Tommy, going to be a great day. It's a slight breeze in the air, but the sun's shining and it's a balmy 24 degrees at the moment.
It's pretty bright out here, guys. So you've got the camera down at one end. It's not really showing a great picture at the moment. We'll have to wait till it get the sun out of it direct eyes, but do what we can at the moment.
Okay, he's just going to keep on the side camera for the moment while we get this technical issue sorted out from the back of the green, but it's a great start by the boys. Barrie Lesser just running through, but probably done enough for shot. So if you're doing nothing this Easter Sunday, once you've finished off all your chocolate eggs, goody stuff for today, you've got nothing to do, get down to the Mandurah Bowling Club if you're in the local area. There's some big matchups on, should be throughout the day. There's also some good fours games going on for those qualifiers that didn't make it, who were drawn out last night and put out onto the back green. Some interesting combinations there, while Corey Wedlock draws a toucher. It's going to be a little bit challenging to see from this angle, given the players have similar stripes and colours on their bowls. Barrie with last bowl in hand. We're about to have last bowl in hand. Probably thinking he'll get down on his favoured forehand side just to crunch the jack a little bit. It's a bit of a raffle just behind Corey's shot bowl. Yeah, looks like he's lining up on his left-handed forehand, and he's going big. Should see it on view in just a moment. Oh, great way to start. Slams the jack and it probably bounces forward enough. I think that's his bowl shot.
Sorry to say, guys, we'll have to put up with that camera for 20 minutes or so, just until the sun gets a bit higher in the sky. It's just because of the brightness and just needs the sun getting a bit higher. So just bear with us until that. It shouldn't be too long.
What a tragedy, Tommy. We have to complain about the beautiful sun shining.
Yeah, it's WA sort of stuff, isn't it? We got to do. We got to find something to complain about.
So that was first end to Corey, and he starts off just slicing the jack a touch.
Found Corey, of all the matches yesterday, Corey probably had the best weight of anyone, just consistently within a foot or two of jack eye all day long.
It's very difficult to do on this green. You've got a bit of breeze, and it runs probably 17-ish, maybe even a touch more. I think we've seen him on TV enough to know how consistent he is.
He was actually the one player that controlled his weight a bit more too. Everyone else was using a lot bigger when they had to play weight.
Good start by Barrie, foot or so behind the jack. Ripped shot by Corey's. Just snuck under, but enough for shot. The way these boys have started, Tommy, I don't even think I'll bother playing. I might just sit out and watch the rest of the day.
Oh, it'd be nice to do if I'll get that luxury of doing that, mate. You sort of, I think you'd be a fair chance, especially given that you'd be used to these greens a bit more than them. They sort of don't play on the sandfield over on the east coast as much as we do over here. So, I was talking to Christina earlier, and she was saying she'd drawn Maddie Peterson and watched Maddie Peterson play on the indoor, and one thing she was actually hoping for was to draw him outside, so she's got her wish.
She's done that, yeah, he was pretty good on the indoor. Found it straight away, and was what he did to Clive, and Clive didn't play bad at all.
No, what we've heard so far, that's probably been J-Boys and Clive's game's probably been the outstanding one of the game match so far.
Oh, sorry, Clive, yeah, of course. Yeah. Barrie rips one down again. Good shot, Barrie.
So on target with his drives to start.
Already, yep, it's bang 2 out of 2. Might have to do that a few more times in the game, I think, the way Corey started as well.
Corey's probably using a similar tactic to he was yesterday with Matt up a fair distance and Jack down near the ditch. Seemed to work for him well yesterday. There was one game where he sort of did have a bit of struggle. Dave got on top of him a bit early with I think it was the longer ends and keeping the Jack away from the ditch. But as soon as Corey got on the roll and got the mat back, he took the mat all the way up and Jack near the tee and sort of got on a roll himself. At one stage, Dave was leading 8 shots to 2 and 12 shots to 6, I think. And Corey's ended up coming home winning 21-18 or 21-16, something like that.
Yeah, he's one of the internationals that I've seen that prefers to play on the shorter side. A lot of them prefer to go ditch to ditch because they believe it's harder. It's going to be harder than their opponent, and they'll get to the jack first. But
yeah, I think it's just there's a lot of them like playing the extremes, don't they? It's either really, really short as short as you can get, or as long as you can get. They tend to stick away from that middle sort of stuff, unless they're struggling and trying to find it themselves.
That's right. Yeah. It's the first scrappier end from the way they've started. However, they're all probably within about 3 to 4 feet, which is still pretty good on this type of surface.
Yeah, Corey's probably 2 foot jack eye, and half a foot behind jack eye. Bazza looks like he's got a decent weight here. It's how far across he's going. Just missing his line a bit with his first 2, but played both with good weight. They have tended to play the ditch side more than the non-ditch side in the game so far. I think there's only been the one real game where they've preferred the other side, and that was their last game on the Thursday and all that wind.
Well, the breeze will switch around lunchtime, and then this hand becomes the wide hand. Although, however, saying that yesterday, most of them were sticking to the wide hand.
Yeah,
Seemed to be a bit more consistent.
that's what we found most. It's actually the wind's actually a different direction as well. The first day and whatever wind there was yesterday, it seemed to come from the ditch side, and
Yeah,
that was the wide end, and they're tending to play the wide end more than the tight end.
good shot there by Barrie.
Well played, Baz. Just that good weight again. Managed to crack his line. Corey just trying to attempt this. He's found his line a couple of times. Just need to correct the weight with his last. Looks on a good track. It's just
If he's got the speed to get there.
whether he's got the trip. He's getting up on the tippy toes, trying to will it on. Probably forces Baz to change the hands to the just try and beat his wing ones on what would he be his backhand.
And unless something drastic happens, he'll be on the board. So he's sticking to his forehand. There should be enough turn there to get around Corey's last bowl. Reasonably weighted too if he drops back to it. I think he's just holding off a touch.
He's going to do enough.
Might be enough. Looks like enough from here.
Yeah, well played, Baz.
Three to Barrie.
Devils is all back up at 3-all.
Other games on this screen we've got going at the moment are Glenn Pauling and Ryan Moyle. We've got Jay By Norris and Billy Bransma and Matty Peterson or Perm. He's playing one from Mark Simpson's stable. I've met him several times. Tommy, do you know his name?
I do not know, actually. Sorry to say.
Probably know his nickname before his actual name. Although
if I saw it written down, I'd know
it.
But yeah, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. That's J-Boy and Billy's your section, is it?
Yeah.
Kyle, sorry.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that game. Looks like those guys have started out pretty good too.
We also have the drawn fours for the losers of the last couple of days, playing on rinks 1 and 2 over near the club. I don't know how Chevy's managed to wrangle the rink that he's got.
He's done pretty good, yeah. Blake Butler, Callum Alberti, and Lindsay Thorne.
I'd have to almost say that Callum's probably the tallest on the rink too.
It could be. Callum's not that tall, for those that don't know him. I think Chevy lost a couple of inches dyeing his hair blonde like Eminem the other day.
He hasn't spiked it in a few years, has he?
Good shot here by Corey. Depends how far away he runs. Stays in enough for shot. I think Baz will just be trying to beat his back bowl. Ball's inside that, be close to shot.
Baz has found his line on his first two, so just you looking to keep the same weight at his back bowl.
Yeah, weight's looking okay. He's just got to hold on. Just dropping short as well.
You think nothing changes with this bowl? Do you think he'd stay on that backhand, or would he look to try and sit the bowl?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He does have. We would have 3 seconds, although Corey's probably going to stop that now.
I'd still almost favour. Nah, looks like Ryan's got two sticks pointing up, so
yeah, trying a second with his second.
I think Baz would just try and add a couple of foot in his last, try and turn his own.
Try a shot here.
Yeah.
It's like pushed it a little bit.
Gets it away very smooth every time, doesn't he? No bounces or wobbles.
He's very technical. That's why he's one of the best coaches in Australia. Just running through a hole there, unluckily. Right way to play it though, Tommy. He could turn his bowl up. He got a sat Corey's wing bowl.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities he gave himself.
Corey releases for the final bowl of the end. Just got to replicate his last one. Pretty
down to
safe
his weight
line
now.
Yeah.
Looks a very good line.
This is probably going to
He
be the
might
best
be
one.
just too good actually, and just be one in, one out sort of thing.
One out. That was probably just a practice for the next end, really. If I can draw a toucher here, then I know what I'm doing for the first bowl, the next end.
Sort of left the jack rather short this end.
Barry's checking it.
Had a bit of a gust of wind just after he let go of it, and probably lost a couple of metres running on the jack. Just trying to call out the umpire to get the measure out for the tape. We got, I don't know if you've mentioned, we got Ryan Hovercraft doing the mark. Hovercraft. How do you?
Hovercraft.
I know I've butchered a few names,
it is Hovercraft.
I'll continue butcher them. I think I will, but he's been doing a lot of work in the marking and the ITO for the last couple of years.
He's very good at it.
Like did he mark a Aussie Open final or something?
It was Comgay, World Bowls.
World Bowls.
Yeah. World Bowls singles final. But who knows, Tommy? If he is very good on water, we could call him Hovercraft. Yeah, jack's too short. Measured brilliantly by the umpires there.
Sue Hoggs, the main umpire for the tournament down here. Likewise with Ryan, she does a lot of work with Bowls Australia and travels all over Australia doing a lot of umpiring.
Yeah, very invested. Corey down with his first for the re-jacked longer end, which has caught him off guard.
Even Baz has got the opportunity to jump on early.
Uncharacteristic by Corey, but very easy to do on the stuff.
Yeah, the wind definitely does have a massive effect on the weight control.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lot of it either to make a difference.
More so than you'd find on a grass and
standard grass green,
carpet green as well. Even Baz has opened up brilliantly.
He's taken up that opportunity.
First.
Known Barrie for many, many years and had the opportunity to play third for him for Wenty Leagues in Sydney a couple of years ago. A lot of fun. One of the most consistent players I've ever played with. And he just loves it, Tommy. Loves all aspects of it.
Yeah, just loves the sport, and he's very much invested in not just only his own performances, helping everybody else all he can as well.
Yeah, I was talking to him the other night. Hadn't seen him for a little while, and he said the people is the biggest aspect for him. All the people he gets to meet in his travels and his coaching clinics and his international bowls and everything he's done. It's been the best part for him.
Has he still got his wines doing that? Is it the wines that he was doing?
I think people are still drinking them. As from a business point of view, I'm not quite sure. I think he is, yeah. But I think once you set up something like that, there's little effort you need to then add to it. Oh, good shot there by Corey, just getting an inside slide from Barrie. Just some Yeah, Matty Peterson's up 9-0. Ryan Moyle up 7-0 on Glenn Pauling.
Yeah, nice getting off those
Yeah, that's going to make
starts, settle the nerves early in the day, get some confidence going.
two massive starts. Jay by Norris, bit of a slender start at 2-0 against Bill Brandsma. As Barry Lester comes into the head here, he's not too bad on drawing a shot. If he's drawn this,
Well,
oh
that's
wow,
probably the first
just drop short
real bowl he's played on that
on that
hand
hand.
too.
Yeah. Corey sticks to his backhand. He just gets under. No, he's not going to. He's going to turn that in, but probably not enough to do any damage.
Does Baz stay where he is? Just try to. He's looking at some angles here. Does he try to play the runner and play on his own, or
he's probably looking at popping the outside of his own. I think from this angle, it looks like Corey's bowl goes straight out, leaving him with two if he gets it right.
I thought the way what Corey's done with pushing Baz's up to the shelf there gives him a second opportunity to try and cut down to the jack off that. Maybe as well on his forehand.
Baz is stuck with his backhand. I think he's looking to pop his own. He's just onto his own front. Oh, in the zone, but doesn't get a result out of that. And we've just been given some scores from the indoor games. Mark Simpson against Newton. That's 5-4 at the moment to Newton. Clark and O'Brien. Clark 5 against Scotty O'Brien 0. Kelly 5. That's Gary Kelly against Isaac Morn 0. And Jarrell Rowland is up 7-1 against Warren Holt.
Definitely barracking for Warren and Scotty in those games over indoors. It's a bit of a surprise. Warren getting off to as slow a start as he has there.
Sure, you'll find it very consistent. Is Warren Holt. A lot of good results and records over the last few years. Just won our state triples again with, well, not again, but just won our state triples with Daniel Trevella and Blake Nan. However, as we were just talking, Tommy, getting a good start, it's much better than getting a bad start.
Just relaxes the nerves and fingertips, doesn't it?
That's right. Your opponent's got to start doing all the work to get back into the game. Boys just missing their line here.
Both bowls played at a good weight.
Yeah, good weight.
Corey's just slapped his thigh. Must think he's still quick again.
It shows you how wide this surface is. Often missing the line just a little bit, but that's into the breeze, so on the narrow side.
I actually noticed that with the with A green over the far side of the clubhouse. That's probably another 50% wider than this has been playing. Actually.
Is that right? Because historically, the last couple of years, it's normally been behaved a little bit less erratic than this one. So if that's the case, something's changed.
It didn't seem to matter which hand they were on. Both hands were drawing just as much as the other. They were going out to the boundary peg marker and back.
Yeah, that's how I've experienced it.
This one's sort of usually had one hand that's been a bit straighter and the other one's a bit wider. Typical green characteristics to see when you got a bit of wind about.
Yeah, well, that's consistent with how I've experienced both these greens. One to Baz at the moment.
Baz is sticking with the backhand though. Thought he might have tried to turn over, but he's probably just trying to arrive.
Body language says he's pushed it a little bit.
Get a foot or two past, protect himself from the trail from Corey.
Yeah, maybe that was intentional. Very dangerous patch of area there.
Got to a very good home. That last bowl of Baz is probably 2 foot behind Jack Eye.
Certainly going to help. It's easy to draw down there and then slice the jack down the line.
Well, there's nothing for high here with Corey. You trail the Jack, sort of land the bowl with that same sort of weight as his last. He's looking very interested
He's going
here.
to be just
Got
under,
his
I think, isn't he?
hands on the head, but he looks like he's going to land the bowl for shot anyway.
That's good shot.
Don't know sort of why he had his hands on his head. Maybe he's thinking, oh, why didn't I play with that bit more weight? But it's a very good shot.
From what I've seen, he's pretty critical of himself. So if he's not making three, he's failed.
I think there's a few people who can say themselves like that.
Or the bloke sitting next to me.
Yeah, get more angry at yourselves than anything else. Still hear Chevy making plenty of noise across the green.
Yeah, you can hear him. He's the only bloke you can hear in the green at the moment.
As a lining up again.
Make it 3 from 3. Fire. Oh, barely missed that one.
Just bounced that one a bit too.
Yeah. Might have taken a little bit of a shimmer off the line he was going for. But we have it 1 to Corey. That makes it 7-3.
Glenn Paulin just having a drive, ripping the Ryan Moyles shot ball out to get off the mark by the looks.
Eddie Peterson's jumped out to a massive 14-0 lead. Doesn't look like this is going to take long at the moment. We've only been playing for half an hour. Still got a bit of an effect on that sun at the moment, haven't we?
Still there. It's getting there. It's got to get the sun to get onto the camera, then it comes good.
Only things you can really see on the camera, Tommy, is you and I.
Sue's keeping Sue busy anyway to start with.
Punting this one will be in just.
Matt's still a long way up though.
I'm not having any other bets today.
It's not a full size green, is it? It's probably looks like only about a 36, 37 metre length green.
36. You'd struggle to get a 7th rink on it.
Whereas it looks like indoors they'd easily fit a 7th one.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we've done 7 rinks at PBA, although it is a bit tight. Corey's stretching it out a little bit. And it started off pretty well.
Both players starting off with a tremendously weighted bowls. Sort of bent a bit early on him there. I think he was liking that a bit better than it ended up being. Just took off only a bit earlier, lost a bit of weight, and ended up a foot short. Baz is still coming down on that higher line. Don't know whether he sent this one though.
We are getting a few comments on YouTube regarding the over the head camera. We do apologise, as Tommy mentioned earlier on. Just got the sun sort of beaten down into the camera, and probably take 10 to 20 minutes before that goes away.
It's just situated in the shade at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got to wait for it to get into the sunlight, so it's not focusing through the shade.
Got to stick to the side ditch camera for a little bit.
I'll switch that across as soon as Baz has delivered this little bowl.
Oh, it just goes through the hole.
Bit of surprise that there. We've Corey having the back bowl and second shot as well from here. Missed his line with this one.
Yeah,
Corey.
A bit of breeze in our face. It's got that. Barrie with one bowl left.
Still looking at the angles there, isn't he? So if he's looking at the angles, you'd probably expect him to play weight again.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he just missed with his last one. Probably a lot easier than trying to draw it either hand. There's bowls in the way, and I think it looks like he's going again. He's looking at it.
Close.
And he's nailed the jack.
He got the back bowl.
Got the back bowl on the through on the way as well.
Probably made two out of that.
Baz picks up two.
So having the whereabouts to back yourself and go a bare jack instead of drawing a shot, taking the percentages and the conditions into account and being able to pull it off.
I think especially since he's had 4 or 5 weighted shots already. 2 of them, or 3 of them have been
very
solid.
Well, he's hit 3 out of 5 now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
A couple of them bare jacks as well.
He would have known the potential to get the back bowl out on the way through as well. You get the jack, you get the back bowl.
Probably stretched out a bit. First longer length end we've had. Matt's only probably 2 steps from the tee.
Good start by Baz. Probably 2.5 foot short. Corey's making a change to the wider side. The second bowl we've seen out there this game. The first bowl in this direction. And he's picked it up pretty good. Front toucher. How's that for you? That's incredible, Tommy. First bowl out there on a longer length than they've been playing. The wider side.
And just nailed it.
Probably wondering why I wasn't doing that earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Just seems to be the way sometimes. You prefer in a hand and just stick that for a bit and just can't quite nail it, and just jump out there, just something completely a bit
Something
different,
clicks.
and
Yeah.
clicks, and away you go. As if you wanted to just arrive, give himself a chance, trying to crack it
You can
open,
pop
give
it.
himself a catcher with the second. Just sort of missed the line a bit. His weight probably would have arrived at Jack White. Billy Bransman's just had a drive and sent bowls all over the green to all four corners.
He needed to because Jay's bowls were hugging the jack. He had three of them around there. Three of them swamping the jack. Corey's not happy with this one.
Corey's very, very disappointed with that bowl, shaking his head. Let Barrie off the hook with that.
Fermi's just dropped a shot. We need to find out who he's playing, Tommy.
Just trying to look that up at the moment. I was looking at that exact thing as well for that.
Baz is right idea. Just going to run in the ditch. So leaves him not a lot to play with his last bowl. Corey will be looking to correct by at least a foot to count. Probably a touch more to pass his own bowl. He's out a bit wider, which means it's going to need a bigger path to travel back. Probably hasn't done it.
Brett McMahon is playing
Brett
Matty
McMahon's on board.
Peterson's. Just got off the mark so he can do his belt back up. He'd be quite relieved with that.
Baz has just walked past us. I think I know what he's looking at. He's looking at a Charlie there between Corey's bowl onto his own, straight to the shot bowl. It depends on where his bowl's going to end up if he's on target.
The way he's been playing his weighted shots, he'd be backing himself to get that. The only thing is he'd have to be careful if he got his, just pulled it a bit tight and got his front one. He's more than likely to lose both his and drop a soft four.
That's a chance, yeah. From where I'm looking at, it looks like he gets half of Corey's bowl, which means he could possibly get half of the jack. So he's really just, it could end up that he's pushing both bowl and jack to the left side of the rink, bringing Corey's wide one into the mix.
He is lining up on the back end, so
yeah. Maybe he's just playing it a little bit firmish. It's on a reasonable track.
It's
the bowls
down
are
on the horse, just
they are
hunting.
apart, but he's not going to get back to it.
Yeah, it's not released. And I have noticed on this one as well, from what I've watched on the compared to A green, this one seems to just run a lot straighter for the most part when you played weight.
Holds off with weight, yep.
Yeah. You get the odd one that dives occasionally, but for the most part, yeah, they just hold off with any weight. We got some more updates from the indoor green. Mark Simpson's leading Jimmy Newton 14-4. Joe Clark's leading Scotty O'Brien 7 shots to 3. Gary Kelly's leading, is that Morn or
Isaac Morn? Yeah.
Isaac Morn 7 shots to 2.
Ooh, Corey almost played it for him then.
Trying to play both bowls out. I think he was getting a bit greedy, trying to get the extra couple of shots. And the last result on the inside one is get Darren Rowland leading Warren Holt 10 shots to 2.
Goes good, Darren Rowland.
Yeah,
AKA Caveman.
Yeah, had a good season this year. Actually,
well, he won
trip to PVA to England for that, didn't he?
And he got hold of Greg Harlow.
Games, yeah.
Greg Harlow first round. Which is huge over there. Well, Potter's Leisure Centre, where the World Indoor Bowls is held. It's home of Greg Harlow. He has a bowl shop there. Club coach, plays for England. Very good for the caveman, Darryl Rowland.
Yeah, we had an evening game of pennants that game against Aussie Park boys, and there was a bit of betting going on from Dale Marsland and the boys for that game. It just sort of coincided with us finishing our game of pennants, and he was playing the last set, so we got up on the screens and They're all betting on their phones. Start getting a few people coming in to watch as well at the moment. Kyle. See the Kerrs have made their way down from Perth as well.
Yeah, there was a few by the end of the day yesterday. No doubt the crowd will probably increase as we get closer to the business end of the tournament.
Baz has started up brilliantly there.
Baz has been more consistent on the slightly longer ones. Corey's just a couple looses.
Corey's just left his first one.
As we say that,
Short,
he
hasn't
draws
he?
a toucher. But will be no Tommy.
He has managed to crack with his second each time though.
Yeah, that's correct.
Baz probably feeling himself a bit unlucky with that first one, just ducking across that extra
leaving it jack
bowl
high.
and leaving it jack high instead of on the centre line. Would have made a fair difference.
Corey's not happy with that one. Although he gets a slide, gives himself a third shot. Not a bad loop from there. His weight's good, he'll get back to the jack. He's still trying. Not quite. Getting it. Yep. Okay, Corey with 1, Barrie with 2 seconds here. Corey's is a toucher, so if he decides to play weight, there's a chance Corey's on the wrong angle. So the worst he can do is 2 here. However,
Well, Corey's probably forcing Baz into playing something a bit different to what he was planning before that last O2. Sort of forcing him to maybe play a bit more weight because he has to get under that last one. Wind's just picking up a bit, so Baz has stepped off the mat. It's going lining up really big actually, so must be able to see an edge of it. He's having a look. He's having a look.
oh,
Hands on his head. He must have missed that by the barest of margins.
it's the third time he's ripped a fly's wing off as he's been going past. That's how close he's getting.
Another one for Corey.
Just going to leave you to battle on your own, Tommy. For a couple of minutes. We'll be back.
Corey, just to shorten the ends up again, he has here. Opened up with probably just on a metre short of jack. Barrie will want to make the most of this opportunity and jump on first straight away here. Looks to have a pretty fair weight, and he just wants to get down in front of the centre line now and cover the jack. Played a brilliant shot, still all the same. Corey's second bowls always so far in the game has made a very good correction, and it's almost got shot back all the time so far. No exception there, he's played a whopper of a second. Just being a foot behind the jack, creating the opportunity for his third bowl. Baz is sticking to the backhand here, probably trying to just pass his last bowl. Get a catcher in there for later on in the end. Has played another good bowl, just passing by 2 to 3 feet. Corey's having a look here again. All on the weight now here. Can he hang on to the bowl? Doesn't like it. He's ran away. Played it with a very good weight though. Surprised to see Barrie change hands here, but sticking to the backhand and probably just going to try and finish between Corey's last bowl and the jack. Down to the weight here now. He's on a fair line. He's played another good bowl. Corey just looks to have played this one a bit firmer. Wants to be careful not to land his own bowl and run on through. Got got the Bowls WA. Nah.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
I got Bowls WA presidents come and join us in the commentary here. This the first time you've been down here?
Yeah, to the Everest.
This weekend?
Absolutely. I had commitments Friday, played bowls yesterday, but I've been watching it on the live stream. It's just absolutely brilliant, the coverage. It's been good. Been watching 2 games at the same time, and the number of people viewing it has been astounding, but rightfully so. It's one of the best events, not just in WA, in Australia, Tommy. So all credit to all those involved, including yourself, and a lot of man hours go into putting this together, and it's really appreciated by everyone who's been watching it, whether that be live or at the venue, or whether that be on the live stream. So all credit to everyone who's put this together, Tom.
As you know, and everybody knows who's been involved in clubs, it all comes down to the volunteers and who puts back into the sport, and it's where probably a lot of people get a lot of their enjoyment and putting back into creating the game is what it is today. The amount of volunteers that it takes to run a tournament, it's just the numbers and man hours that goes into it. It's just a huge effort. Russell Tyrrell's been down here, I think 6 o'clock each morning, doesn't leave till midnight, and then is back again the next day at 6 o'clock. His whole family, Caitlin and Cheryl, down here at the same times as well. Blake Butler's been down here, even though he's been playing. He's been down here 7 a.m, 6:30 a.m, setting all the cameras up, same as Timmy Hyatt and them. So
yeah, I've spoken to just about all of the above that you've mentioned, because it's a tough gig, and they need to be recognised and acknowledged. Same as yourself, Tom. Whether we're just doing small bits or whether they're key players, they're all parts of the machine, Tommy, that go together. So, and you didn't enter this?
Nah, not. Don't play enough these days. Probably not got the skills at the moment either, or the fitness levels.
But you've still got the ability to handpick two of the best bowlers in Australia to get on live stream. So if you're going to do a game, you might as well do the best.
Yeah, we got lucky with this one. I think Russell's looked after us a bit here. But there's not too many that wouldn't be good games to watch. Although we've got one of the closer games. A couple of the other rinks have blown out a bit, but they're all of a high standard match play. So, while we're going, Matty Peterson's pretty much not far off completing his game, leading 19-1. J-Boy Norris is trailing Billy Brandsman 6 shots to 5. They're just about to update the scoreboard. Ryan Moyle is leading Glenn Pauling 10-8. And you know the score on our green. They've just updated J-Boy's score. It's Billy leading 8 shots to 5.
So it's always good when you get the closer games, and so when you've got two superstars of bowls in Australia showing their wares. What else could you ask for? So a great venue. There's several clubs within the Mandurah precinct. Bulls Head, Dudley Park, the Mandurah Bowling Club itself with the indoor facility that is brilliant. They tell me they're going to replace the green before long, Tommy.
Yeah, I heard that this morning. They have relayed it once already, I think. They had a few problems with leakage in the early years, and they tried to fix something about it and made it a bit worse, but they had to rip it up and relay the redo the base, and lay a new surface on because the surface had been stained. But it's played well since they've done that. The outdoors, they started, I think the club was built when we had the champions over here one year. And they built it with the old needle punch, which was very much affected with the conditions, with a bit of cloud cover, a bit of sun coming out, and it just changed. Very hard to play on. But since then they've put all the greens into a woven carpet, and then they didn't last long either. They just, because of the conditions over here, the bases seem to crack and seem to get a very untrue surface. So a lot of surfaces in WA seem to be that sandfield surface.
Yeah.
Seem to get a lot more life out of them and a lot better playing.
Yeah, they're a lot more fit for purpose. Yeah.
So they've got 2 of them, and the 2 woven surfaces as well. So one to Baz.
So he's certainly doing some good work while he's over here, not just playing bowls, but doing some very, very worthwhile and coaching sessions throughout in his journey. Though I know I've spoken to people who have attended them so far, and they speak really highly.
I know of the coaching session he did on Wednesday, I think it was, here at the club. I don't know if there's been any others.
There's one, there was that, correct, and there's 2 I think being held at Aussie Park. They'll all be for a juniors one, and then an open one that follows straight on. So that'll be well attended.
Has that been run already, or
that's Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Over for a couple of days now as well, is he?
Yes.
Okay. That's good to hear. So he's making a trip of it then. Do
you
know when he's heading home?
No, I don't know all these travel details. I'll find out later. So what time he's got left, but I suppose they'll have other competitions they'll be moving on to, Tom.
Well, they got pennants, I think, again next weekend, I would presume, in New South Wales. That platinum pennants they've started, that first round they play that, three games on the weekend. I think it's something that probably needs to be looked into a few more double headers over here, probably.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that will be changing.
Just trying to get the season more condensed. I don't mind. I think it's probably something that we don't want to be looking at reducing the games in this state. We probably don't play enough as it is over here, but condensing the season to shorter time periods and having more games grouped together, so you feel like you're getting something done instead of having one game a week sort of thing.
Yeah, more events there'll be. There may, if it ends up being less pennant games, there'll actually be a little querying of the scoreboard. But Ryan Havercroft, there'd be no better credentialed umpire or ITO within the shores of, certainly within WA, but arguably Australia. Has been recognised at the highest level, so
No, we've
knows
been
his stuff.
been pretty lucky with that this year.
Sue
All
Hogg.
over here, you got Sue as well,
Mm.
running the umpires. She's been running the umpires in WA for how many years now?
Many,
as many
yeah,
as I've been
great.
playing in Perth for. So, and Ryan, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. There's a few others doing a lot of work in the RTO zone over here. Corey just dropping a couple short. He's lost his weight a bit the last few ends.
Yeah,
And he's getting a bit frustrated.
It's not the easiest rink, they tell me. So the wind stay depends where this wind stays at.
It's as is always the case on the sand field. It's very affected by wind. It doesn't take much wind to affect the speed of the bowl.
So that'll be
Baz has sort of he's definitely found on the centre line, that's for sure.
absolutely
3 bowls down the centre of the green.
As Ryan tells us, he's holding 2, which we can see from here, and you can pick up on the screen easy enough. So, what will we see? He's shaping for weight.
I think he just try and draw again. He hasn't got much on. Sort of, as we've seen, if you try and play with weight, they don't do a lot of betting. So, even if you wanted to play with weight, you could only play with a yard or so.
Just rolled past, so the 2.
Another 2 to Baz. Sees Baz hit the front for the first time in the match.
Certainly the who's who of bowls in Australia here, Tommy. And Matthew didn't venture up.
No, he's got a bit of a argument going on there. So he's been running a tournament this time of the year as well. So he's not too happy with Russell at the moment. He's taking his thunder a bit. Matty's been running a carnival down at Emmy Point over east of the last few years that they've been. Actually, a lot of people from Perth have been going down for because it's a
tight.
good
it's
carnival
a full,
actually down there because it's been just the one day, so people take their families down for the holiday, have a day of bowls while you got another 2 or 3 days just to explore and see all the sights in Albany.
It's a full calendar, as you say. So the first one, Barrie slipped through by a metre.
As we say, we're still waiting for that camera down the end to get into the sunshine a bit. We've got a bit of shade down there. It's got to get into the sun a bit, trying to get the glare off that camera. We're still just waiting on that a bit, so we're just trying to use this side camera at the moment. It's about the best angle we can get. So apologies for that.
So tell me, Tommy, when you play left-handers, some people tell me they don't like playing against someone who's a left-hander. Because you like to rob someone, pinch someone's line, watch someone's bowl, but because they're delivering from a different place on the mat. Does that ever enter your psychic?
A lot of left-hand, don't really. You tend not to watch left-handers too much because their deliveries are usually a bit different. A lot of Baz is probably one of the outliers, along with Lara. A lot of left armers have a big round arm delivery, so it's hard to follow. Even though it's on a different hand, it's hard to follow any sort of line that they're going to take. So you just got to find your own line. Whereas if you're playing with a right-hander, that's somebody you can copy, sort of thing. If you've got the same sort of bowl, but I don't tend to find there's much difference to playing a right-hander. Just a couple of angles that they might be able to get to better than the right-hander would be, or so. It's all much the same as to me.
So it's a game of nip and tuck on the scoreboard, and every bowl just is going to count. There's so much on the table here. Prize money is substantial.
Yeah,
Tommy?
Matty Peterson looks like he's just completed his game. Although we have been seeing a tendency of once someone wins and then they seem to win 2 or 3 or 4 in a row, and
Yep.
then it takes a while for the opposition to win the end back and get back on a roll themselves.
So Barrie just giving us a bit of an insight into the breeze, saying it seems to be moving around and
yeah,
just changing their line ever so slightly, and that's just classic of these synthetic surfaces, that they're more prone to movement with the wind. Tommy?
they just don't have that friction that you see on a grass green.
So, question for you, mate. I'm sure you're not one that'll talk about himself, but Rosendahl medals? Won the odd one?
Not for a while, mate. Not for a while.
Well, don't worry about it not being for a while, but tell me, how many did you win when you're going through that hot streak there?
I was taking turns with Clive there for a while, so won a couple.
Won a couple. They're a very modest man. So,
Another 2. Corey's managed to win the
2.
end back, picks up 2, and straight away
Straight.
brings the mat up to the minimum length.
So, question. Sorry,
I was just going to ask you, where were you playing in pennants this year, Aussie Park? How did you end up this year and for the pennant season?
So I start the season in Meckering, so out in the wheat belt.
Yep.
And then I do that when we finish harvest, and then I'll come back to Perth and I'll start playing midweek and Saturdays. So it's my role as president of Bowls WA. It's important that I'm not a one-trick pony, and as people who know me, I get around a bit. So I ended up playing. We won the Thursday midweek Premier pennant, so that was good. We've won 4 of the last 5, so it's good to be carried along in that. I'm certainly not a key player, as you know, but I did enjoy that, and I played. I don't know where I started. Ended up playing white. But one of the issues that I have in my role is I'm everywhere, whether it be Moama, over east for meetings, live streaming out of Emu Point, which I really enjoyed, and then off to Eton to do live stream for the women's interzone. So we do that. So I'm all over the shop. So not exactly the best club person you can have with that inconsistency in playing games, because this other shirt or position comes first.
Corey looking jack in the ditch.
Yeah.
Here, 2 fair openers. He's got the bowl on the bowl and round to the ditch.
Both is in the ditch.
So just leaves Bazza with the only bowl on the green.
But someone was going to bury it, Tommy.
Yeah, just Corey's backus bowl was probably where Baz is now. Just Bazza, as you saw, left one jack high, probably a bowl from jack high. Corey tried putting a jack in the ditch. Got a question about the Thursday pennants. Is there a thought of playing there's 2 separate Premier Leagues, it's North and the South. Is there thought about having a playoff for bragging rights for the whole of Perth instead of just having the 2 pennants?
Yeah,
going back to that.
It's one of the things that really amazed me when I came down, that it was that was how it panned out. You played Premier North and Premier South, or as it is. That you don't have the ultimate winner, but
I think there's the opportunity to play
Yeah.
another final game there, because you got just 1v2 and
Yeah.
1v4 and 2v3
Yes,
sort of thing. So
correct.
it's probably what I heard from a few blokes, they'd actually like to see that happen.
Yeah, I think so. And the feedback is exactly as you say. So it's something that will be discussed as they're going through their game redevelopment. They're put together a pretty good stable of knowledgeable people to reshape that.
And then one white, the closeness of the one white division this season, where, as you saw, it was you were part of that, I think, were you, on the Saturdays, where I think Aussie Park were sitting in the 3rd or 4th going into the last round and lost the game by a couple of shots or something,
and end up in relegation.
Yeah,
I really...
That's a drop of 4 positions just on one game. And it was week to week, people going from third rate all the way down to 7th and 8th position. Even towards the end of the year, ourselves in Premier League, we were sitting second and lost the game and dropped all the way down to 6th. Just 1 week, lost the game 6, got shot 6 points to 2.
It's good in one sense, but it's pretty
Cutthroat.
cutthroat in the
Very
other. And you go
cutthroat,
from
yes.
one rink away from finishing in the finals. Here we go. He's loading up for this one.
It's probably the first flat-out drive he's really missed, Baz, so far. It's another 2 to Corey, though.
So that stretches it out. Biggest break of the game? What was it earlier? I didn't see it.
No, we had
I was
a
up the other end.
9-5. Corey was up 9-5 a couple of times. Yeah, Corey was up 9-5 and he was up 7-3.
Yeah, righto. It's usually interesting tracking which way. Sometimes people dominate bowl that, whether it be a team, single, whatever, seem to pick it up better one way than the other.
Yeah, it's just like I say, sort of seeing they get on a roll of once they win an end, it seems to be multiple ends they win in a row. Like it's not just one end and then what the next person wins the other end. It's all the way through. We got, other than the first 2 ends, Corey won 3 ends on the trot, then Baz won an end. Corey won another couple ends on the trot. Baz won 3 or 4 ends on the trot. Now Corey's back to a couple ends on the trot again. So just seems like you find it hard to get the
I mean, they are next
shot
level.
back. Shot back once they've got it. Get the mat back once you've lost it.
So, question with our preparation for you is the best bowler from WA. And you've been around the traps a while and you've played at the highest level. Played a lot of. I'm not sure how many state games. I should have done my homework. Get my homework on you, Tommy. But has that win certainly got a bit of gust or two about it? Best bowler that you've seen played with or against from WA in your time.
You'd have to go.
And you've seen a few.
You'd probably have to put Dennis Capp first up there, wouldn't you? I got the tail end of his sort of career. But then you'd have to put Daniel Trella up there, and that I sort of probably missed Pete's time in the shine a bit. Pete Harris's. But yeah, I think you'd have to go with Daniel, just his ability. At times he does have a bit of a sooky cry at times and can be a harder person to play with, but just the ability of the man himself is just unbelievable at times.
Yeah, he can. And still going well.
Yeah. Still chasing the money all everywhere though. Baz is lining up for a drive. Been a bit unlucky with Corey's shot bowl running along the ditch, which is very unusual for a synthetic with those rounded ditches.
But Barrie, let it go in 9 times out of 10. But
yeah, it's usually it's very difficult to get within a foot of the ditch on these synthetics because it just rolls off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no plinth to sit on, as to say, as you get on a grass green. Right.
So,
it's only the one apparently.
Just the one. Although inquiry was, he's surely consider. Thought himself that it may have been the 2.
I did notice we had with all the juniors going on the last couple of weeks, we actually had a few more juniors playing this year, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I did go along for the final day. I was.
What were the results of that? I didn't actually manage to see any results.
Yeah.
Who won all the events in that?
Rightio. So Cam Wellington was the under 18s champ this last year, unfortunately. And
Callum Alberti's won the last couple, hasn't he?
Yeah. So no, Callum got knocked out in the semi-final, surprisingly. So he beat young Elijah Blackwood from, I think he hails from East Fremantle Bowling Club. Cam, of course, is from Harvey.
Yep.
High standard game. In fact, that's the thing I noticed. I mean, the greens were sensational at Aussie Park, but you still got to. It's not about the green. You still got to deliver.
Cam
it certainly helps.
Cam would have played a lot with Dave Goddard, and
Yeah, absolutely.
Dave Goddard would have helped him out for the last few years.
Yeah,
Dave has moved on this past year, but spent
Yep.
the last few years at Harvey.
He's at Eton Bowling Club, and of course, young Cam did make the zone side for the Southwest, so he got to strut his stuff down at Emu Point, so we got another look at him down there. So
who did he play with in that?
Really good question.
Who was his skipper, you know? Or, I don't know.
No.
Another 2 to Corey.
Just stretches it out a little
The 15-10 it equals the biggest margin of the match so far.
Not quite. Then in the girls we had 2 Aussie Park girls, Sophie Hayes, newish. Obviously they're all new because I'm not sure. I think they've got several years left. And Eleanor Manifest, good bowler. They're both good bowlers. I think it was a 21-10 score, but didn't actually reflect the game. It was both games to a really high standard, and they were up and down to the head and playing all different shots. And really, I thought maybe Eleanor might have got the job done, but Sophie played this real draw to the jack all over it, and made Eleanor just had to run a few times. But yeah, superstars in the making. So it's good to see the depths of increasing, and a lot of it I think is on the back of
Kelly Ray's doing a lot of work.
Massive
there, and
massive.
And Miles Kemp started doing a bit with the school.
And yeah,
that's the last couple of years they had the schools started running the state school competition.
Year 2
we haven't
for
played
us
in that the last few years. But
yeah, that's had
started last season and a half, 2 seasons. Sort of.
Young lass from Gosnell's come over from that, and a few others that's been their pathway into the game. That's really opened up, as a sport, one of the sports within the school. So that's been really good. This year they go to the Gold Coast, or is it Sunshine Coast? But they're in Queensland anyway, so very good. So
good bowl by Corey there. Jack-eye front toucher.
Wayne Coffey's young boy Billy, he played in that, and then he come along and got to participate in the state 18. So there's a few of them got to do it for their first or second time, so that was good. So the numbers are increasing, so's the standard.
Yeah,
a lot of effort's going into it.
Yeah, definitely the numbers looks a bit healthier. I remember when I was playing juniors, Morris and Ann Crabber doing a mountain of work, and we used to have a carnival every second or once a month during winter. We used to have it come up from Albany. Me and my brother used to come up and play a carnival, and we used to fill 2 greens full of juniors, and the whole junior national state junior carnival used to go for the whole school holidays, a full 2 weeks. We used to play.
So he's going to clean this one out as I just interrupt you here. So just 2 down. Oh, he did too.
Managed to clean them both out. He's probably
a little bit creative.
Disappointed that he didn't get a bit of jack and that, but I think he's got shot out. I think that Baz's shots there on the centre line closest to the jack. Still got a leaving Corey about a yard to draw shot.
So that foundation talking about juniors, as we see Corey with room to draw.
Corey's got really close again. Baz will be hoping he just pokes his head out from behind the jack a bit.
You know, 15-10, it's one that doesn't want to let it slip any further.
Baz is still sticking to the backhand here, looking just a draw shot, I think.
He's in 2 minds whether to run it out.
He hasn't played too many bowls on the forehand. I would have thought he'd play the forehand, trying to give himself a chance, trying to land the bowl just with a couple of foot, trail the jack.
So he walks. He just
needs
needs
playing the backhand. It's just a dead draw. Of course, Barry's been the left-hander. It's a bit opposite hands to what we used to say, but
they're forever thinking about not just getting shot. It's the multiple, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah. Just giving you the percentages, giving you the extra opportunity where you can afford to be aggressive with the shot and that on the forehand, but he hasn't, like I said, he hasn't played too many bowls on that forehand, whereas the backhand he's tended to stick through all games so far. He's stayed on the backhand, just looking to draw a shot, obviously. all down to the weight here.
The wind's not
Yeah,
quite as
just the
kind
wind
as it
picked
could
him
have
up a
been.
bit and just
Yeah.
carried him that extra foot, I think.
Yeah, just kept
won
it up on.
won the Corey.
And you as a singles
leading
player,
1-6.
Tommy, I know I know you love to divert any attention away from yourself, but singles titles. Get a few?
Not. I haven't played many singles actually for clubs. I think I played the 10 years I was at Vic Park. I think I played 3 or 4, 1, 2.
Fair conversion rate.
And then it's similar. I think I might have played 5 at Manning, 1, 2 as well.
Oh, fair effort. We pick good clubs to win them at.
Yeah, it's not both of those clubs haven't been, when I was been there, haven't been the easiest ones. Vic Park, you're having Shane and Brewster Wishart and Anthony Provost, Rhett Butler there, a few others, Jeff Mitchell and Russell Hughes.
Some big names.
Manning having Daniel there and Dave Downey, Anthony
Butler.
Williams, Blake Butler, and you can keep going on.
Yeah, there's a fair bit
Billy
of depth.
Cows come home there, and then one at Gosnells as well.
Oh,
Back when I
Gozzies.
first come up, first year, first 2 seasons I played in Perth, I was at Gosnells, which tended to be the way with a lot of the country blokes. Their first couple of seasons, they used to tend to go to Aussie Park or Gosnells. Tended to be Gosnells more so with the south ones, and probably Wanneroo Aussie Park with the north people.
So straight away, he's looking.
But my first I was playing because the juniors used to be always played at Gosnells, so that's how that worked out being there. So I had Billy Galloway come up and asked us to come up and lead for him. So come up and led for Bill Galloway. Stayed with the Helts, Wayne and Susan, Blake and Sinead.
Yep.
Used to fly up on the Saturday mornings. Alan Petrel used to pick us up at the airport about 11 o'clock. Yeah. Does a lot of coaching, doesn't he, there? And then used to get dropped back off there at the airport at about 4 o'clock on the Monday morning to get home for school.
I suppose.
On the Monday, so
for the people
did that for 2 years
who aren't from Western Australia and understand Albany and the layout of the state, it's not sort of walking distance.
It's about a 4 to 5 hour drive, depending on how much of a lead foot you got and the traffic and that. It's probably getting a bit longer these days because the roads are getting a bit dodgy. That Albany Highway is getting a bit dodgy at the moment. So all the corrugations and bitumen's sort of wearing away a bit and potholes. But
it's a fair effort. It's a bit
so the bottom
out
with
massive commitment.
Yeah,
isn't
the
it?
Rex and Sky West back then it was actually Sky West used to let us out a book on the last minute flights on the they had one reserved for us at all times, the seats, so just able to book last minutes, whether it was as long as we booked half an hour before the plane took off, we could get on the plane. And we had I think it was 20 or 30% discount on the flights as well, so it was about
so just waiting for a
return flight trip. So.
Waiting for a break in the gusts of wind, but he's not going to get one. It's holding 3, scores 15-10. So just rolls into the ditch, which so second shots is the objective here.
Doesn't have a lot of room there. He's probably only got 3 foot, and Corey's second shot's probably 2 foot away. He's looking to land the bowl here.
So
still 3. A bit of a surprise.
So we'll see the tactic again. You'll see this mat come right up, jack to the tee.
He's definitely dominated the minimum length ends in all the games so far. And if anybody could get a hold of him.
And if anyone drops something beside it, it'll be straight in the well, Tommy.
Yeah, it has been so far. He hasn't had to do it too many times because Corey's usually the first one, been getting on it really early. Some of
Yes.
the other scores at the moment we have Ryan Moyle leading Glenn Pauling 15-12. I don't know. I can't see that Billy Bransman score. There he is. Billy Bransman leading J Boy Norris 12 shots to 11. On the indoor rinks we have Mark Simpson leading Jimmy Newton 18-6. Joseph Clark leading Scotty O'Brien 6 shots 11-6. Greg Kelly leading Isaac Morn 8 shots to 6, and Darren Rowland still leading Warren Holt 10 shots to 4. So fair way to go on those inside rinks. I think it's Warren. Not sure who's the live streaming on the Facebook on the indoors.
Oh, so we see at 19-10 draws shot.
Corey Wedlock's finding the centre line again, just probably 2 bowls short of Jack Eye.
So weather conditions, been near on perfect, haven't they?
Yeah, especially if I think some of the Eastern States boys will say it's a bit windy, but for WA it's about normal, I think.
Yes, but this coastal strip is just part and
Yeah.
parcel of it playing in the wind. And I know I do a lot of country live
We
stream.
tend to get a lot of side winds, not the
Yeah.
headwinds.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
From my understanding, the East Coast seem to get more head and tail winds compared to us, whereas we're just a lot of side winds.
So if
I wouldn't be surprised to see Baz let one rip here.
Yeah, he's not going to get to it.
Yeah.
And it's just whether he has to change the shape at it to get to it. And at 19-10,
Still looking at draw shot by the looks. He'd be wanting a pass though. Just flicked his towel on the ground there, so he must think there's something wrong with that.
but it is the Bacchus, and it's one
He's
ball to
there,
go, so maybe he will
giving
load
himself
up.
the opportunity. There is a gap between the front 2 bowlers, so if he does load up, he could go out this game. But Corey would be looking to turn his last bowl, probably with 2 foot of weight, trying to get it just behind the jack there, get a second counter.
So he's chosen the forehand.
He
can get his
arriving weight. It's enough to turn either of those 2 bowls on the side there.
That's all it needs.
Needs
Or
something solid there.
So,
He's
he's
done
changed.
well,
He's
yeah.
done well. He's changed the shape. He probably gets a little bit of a look.
That last little flop of Corey's is masses as well. Before that last bowl just flopped over, you could see Barrie being able to get both the shot bowls, and be able to get shot over it. Now he's sort of not going to get both bowls without getting a bit of the jack, so it probably leaves him with just being able to, just arriving with that similar weight as his last, giving himself a chance to trail the jack. Just poke the jack out a bit here so you can see it now.
So sometimes you
He's
watch a
having a
bowl, and sometimes you just watch the body language, and it tells you the
Yeah,
same
he's
thing.
picked the mat up very quickly there. It's come down late. It's only just missed that. It's come down very quickly late. He's been a bit unfortunate there. If he got the bit of the jack, he probably made 2 or 3 himself.
Corey acknowledges
So
it.
they're having a look for shot here, getting the tape measure out.
So if you done any coaching yourself, Tom, you'd
Not formally. Like as most bowlers, like you'd sort of the blokes you play with a lot, you tend to see what how their usual form is. Sorry about that, guys. Making a bit dizzy with the cameras going around here everywhere. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you tend to, with the people you see playing a lot or you play with a lot, you tend to see what their action is and if there's any changes in that over time. I used to do that with Red a bit. You could see when he was struggling with form, you could see he was doing something different. You just mentioned it a bit, and just the beginners just sort of pick something up, but no formal coaching or anything like that. Just in other words, you're just trying to tell them, or you're just trying to find a grip that you feel comfortable with, and steps or any actions. There's no real true proper correct action. It's just what you feel comfortable with.
Righto.
So
Yep.
I find it looks like we might actually have a bit of overcast, and we've got a good camera view for this side one for a change. So I'll get you first time we've been able to use this camera. Set cloud, sun's gone beyond the cloud for a bit, so see how long we get this camera for.
So Russell Tyrrell will sleep well tonight.
Still got one more day to go.
Oh, one more day.
Still got one more day to go.
Oh, he's racing
Well,
around.
it's just not. I think he'll sleep well tonight. It's not a. He might get on the piss a bit tonight because there's no evening games tonight. I don't think.
Well, yeah, and the format for tomorrow, what's the aim to get down to, Tommy?
I'm not 100% sure. I presume it's down to the last 8. It's just the 3 games a day I've heard, and so you get down to the last 8. But it is. I think they are moving the 25 up tomorrow though as well.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's definitely enough time to play the 4 games in a day. They have been playing 6 on that indoor green. Corey Wedlock's had 2 ripper openings there.
And two really tight games on the next 2 rinks.
Yeah, very good.
Brad Smith 13 all.
Baz has played a good shot there to get shot.
Absolutely, but Corey can see.
Corey only needs the 1 more to win the game as well. He's moved on to 20. Corey's just opening the head up there. You probably wouldn't be surprised to see him go jack in the ditch or
He's got to
with
take
the bowl of his last.
So he has to take.
Basil will be wanting to change the head up here.
Yeah. Yes, right. He can't leave that open.
Nah, yeah, he's got to be changing this.
Corey will bury that.
Jack, yeah. Wanting it to hang on, he's not arriving. He'd be very disappointed with that.
So
arrive to that. So
Com game's just around the corner. So that's going to be interesting with the changing format and
I've heard
who's going to get
only
those spots.
Three going this year. It's a bit of a disappointment, I think. So
hate to be the selector, although easy to get selector or superstars. Yeah. So let's go.
Probably
chance to win the game here.
Yeah. He's looking at it. He's in the area. He's got a piece of the jack. How bellies he's got it. He's got it pretty fat. He's probably left Baz with just over a foot to 2 foot to draw shot.
So Baz is having a good look at it before, but they'll put the markers up.
Got a toucher there with the cannon, which looks like it's getting pretty close to the jack.
So he'll be looking at angles. He'll be looking at everything. And drawing to the ditch on a synthetic with those rounded edges, very difficult. He actually has a feel of the rounded edge as we speak.
Ryan's just going to put the marker on his. That's the bowl.
So that's the bowl marked, and now we'll get the jack mark once he doesn't want to walk in front of Barrie as he's purveying the situation, working out if he's can get through, promote anything.
It's even closer than I thought. It's even closer than I thought. I thought the jack was on the other side of that mark. He's got about...
And with the game...
right on a foot to draw, get shot here, so...
Near on impossible.
He's looking to see, He was probably looking to see if there was a bit of a drop in the ditch, hoping the ball would come back. But I think his only chance is here, trying to get that cannon in. He has been playing these shots well. He's having a look. Get down a bit, And he's got Corey's. He's got shot at it, but we've won a Corey's. So congratulations to Corey. Just too consistent throughout the game. Played well, especially on those shorter ends.
Yeah, and welcome to the world of synthetics, where and a bit of wind, it's really can be difficult.
Baz is just having a look whether the cannon worked, and yeah, it did work. Got him shot. So I'll just give you some updates on the scores on the rest of the screen. J-Boy Norris is 13 all with Billy Brasma, and Glenn Pauling's playing his last bowl of the end. 3 down, looking to hit something's ripped 1 out, but ripped his closest bowl out. So I'd say be a 3 to Ryan, which would make the score 19-15 to Ryan.
Both on the same stable as well.
Both the same staple, Cozzy Home Loans. Yep, Cozzy sponsors a number of players each year in this carnival.
Great man,
and I think even if somebody buys a house of him as well, he pays for the entry into the competition as well. So if you're looking to buy a house, give Cozzy a ring. Thanks again for your commentary and your wisdom on the broadcast. We'll hopefully see you again in the next one. Thank you for the listeners. Should be back on in hopefully an hour or two. So we'll see you then. Thanks one again, and we'll see you shortly.
Cheers. Thanks, Tommy.